It's the Carter Man. It's Sunday, October 8th, and there's really very little to smile about today, is there? Yesterday, October 7th, 2023, it's a day that's going to live in ignominy. And that's the only way to put it. I can't fathom many acts as despicable and deplorable is what the Palestinians did to Israel yesterday. Make no mistake about it. The invasion, the terrorist invasion and massacre yesterday by Hamas against the innocent people of Israel is going to put a black mark next to Palestinians, the Palestinian name, that will follow them throughout history. It's that bad. It's that bad. It's impossible to overstate the horror of what they have perpetrated. As a matter of fact, at this minute, they're still perpetrating. We have to make some observations here. Israel needs to take a real hard second look at its preparedness, obviously, but also at arming its citizens. You know, Israel has gun control. People have to be allowed to defend themselves. They simply do. And this is all proof positive. What a horror. The innocent women and children being slaughtered and drug out as hostages. This has to be avenged in a way that wipes out Hamas totally. Every single member of Hamas has to be executed. Nothing short of that will be sufficient. The Palestinian people have to be removed from Gaza, and Gaza has to go back to Israel. And Sharon should never have given it to Hamas in the first place, 20 years ago or so. So there are some steps that need to be taken, and there's one more step. The United States has to stop funding terrorism. All right, I said it. I'm not going to pull any punches. Joe Biden is, at least in part and perhaps largely, I think once the full story is told, responsible for much of what happened yesterday. He funded Iran, which clearly helped Hamas orchestrate this, and he funded Hamas. Hundreds of millions of dollars to Iran, including paying for a hostage Iran had, which we had never done before. What kind of example did that set? Well, we know now. He just wrote one check after another in the billions of dollars to Iran, to the mad mullahs of Iran. And then he didn't lift the sanction. He's too sneaky for that. He's too sneaky and smarmy for that. What he did was stopped enforcing the sanctions so that Iran was able to make hundreds of millions of dollars in their oil trade, which Trump had not allowed them to make, and which had helped put them on the verge of bankruptcy. Biden brought them back, and we know now how to use some of that money. 5,000 to 7,000 missiles hit Israel. Thank you, Iran, and thank you, Joe Biden. Biden also funded Hamas, the Palestinian terrorists, to the fund of about, we know, 400 million. God knows how much he did secretly. Okay, it's the kind of person he is. There's always some sneaky activity also going on. This is the kind of this is the kind of terrorist supporting activity that the President of the United States conducted. Okay, let me say to the Republican House Representatives, stop yammering and do something about this guy. He is a horror. He's a horror, and you never know what else he has done covertly. Frankly, for Hamas and the Palestinians as well. He's that sneaky and smarmy and sleazy. And now we see that the death toll rising by the minute. Folks, put it in perspective. I'm predicting, they're saying the number of dead Israelis slaughtered, massacred by these Hamas Palestinian terrorists. It's up around 300 now as at about 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. I'm predicting it's going to hit twice that much at least. Their population is 1/30 of ours, so we're talking, if it could happen to the United States, 10 times it's 30,000 people slaughtered. This is what Israel's facing. So let me reiterate, Israel has to wipe out Hamas. They have pictures of a lot of these people, photo ID, every single participant should be slaughtered. Every leader of Hamas should be slaughtered. And the United States has to stop funding terrorism. I'm saying it, we funded this activity. Joe Biden did. Let me close with this. I know a little about Hamas because back in 30 years ago, I went on a kind of a peacemaking mission to the Mideast, to Palestine. I met with two groups in Palestine. The Arafat's people, and I'm talking at the highest possible levels. And 201, I'm just going to tell you, 201, they clearly weren't receptive to what I was suggesting, and, make peace with Israel. But 201, they were polite, even deferential, okay? Then I went into Gaza, and I met with Hamas. Vile. The leadership of Hamas was vile, okay? So none of this comes as a surprise to me. One day I'll go into detail with the meetings, At one point I was praying that the Lord would surround me with his angels, as we did in Old Testament times. But that's the kind of people they are. And now Israel's learned the hard way. And America, we've got to get rid of Joe Biden. We have got to make him a name which will go down in history as one of those never again moments that we put such a disreputable and despicable person in the White House. He's responsible. I think a lot more is going to come out pointing to how responsible he is. And what we need to do at this point now is pray hard for the state of Israel, pray for the Jewish people, for the Israelis. Ask the Lord to give them comfort and strength to see the job through and avenge this horrifying terrorist attack. So together, let's do this thing.